As we all know now by the trailer, it is inspired by a true incident that happened in 2019.
And I said, he has tears in his eyes because he did one छोटा सा scene था एक.
इसकी पिक्चर बनाई है, देसी पिक्चर बनाई है, एक बहुत rooted पिक्चर है ये.
And I think what makes Fighter even more special is this is our tribute and our thank you to every single fighter out there.
Happens when a film releases. मेरा एंडिल से कह रहा हूँ कि ये फिल्म है when Sid looks back, यार ये फिल्म है, ये फिल्म की थी मैं. Like this is something really special you've done. Sid, I want people to see the film. I want people to see our work and decide. So I don't want to just say too much about it, but I'm really proud and I've really sincerely been one of my best journeys of my career.
Wow, thank you.
Working.
Thank you so much. And George is also spectacular.
It's a big journey. ज़्यादा लंबा मत बोलना.
मैं कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा. Next.
Well, I know you've answered the question, but if I may,
But the question is going to come to you.
I don't want to say this to them. I want to say this to you.
Yeah, not right now.
So I have worked as an assistant while watching you in many films by Dad's films, and I model my process of how to get into the film as an actor by seeing you. And I spent 3-4 years doing that. And I was a very good assistant. In fact, even now, I love shifting between being Sid's actor and Sid's assistant.
He's the best assistant I've had.
I love doing that. But as an assistant, मैं आपको देखता था, I used to learn. And then, of course, whatever happened in the journey, अब फाइटर के सेट पे हम लोग सीन कर रहे थे in the corridor. And I had just seen a few scenes of the film, and I was on set with you. And you know, when you tell somebody, when you compliment somebody about how well they've done in a scene, the common reaction is, "Oh, thank you so much. You know, that's great. I'm so happy. Thank you." But when you win a gold medal at the Olympics, or when you win the Wimbledon, something that you have put your entire life and soul, every cell of yourself has gone into something, and then when you get a compliment, there you feel overwhelmed, and you have tears in your eyes. So back to the corridor, I had just seen a few scenes, and I came to you and I told you that एक scene है film में, which was written on paper as a very aggressive scene. It was full of aggression and anger. And then I saw what you did. And I told you, you have interpreted this scene in an entirely different emotional way. And what you have done is absolutely taken the film from there to there in that one scene. और जब मैंने ये बात उनसे कही, your eyes welled up. You had tears in your eyes. And I was just watching you aghast. Like, my God, this man must have put so much of himself into that one scene that when he's getting to hear that he did well, he had tears in his eyes. This is after 4 decades of doing what he does. Still to have the power to give that much into a scene. That day, I again turned into an assistant and I just watched him. And I said, he has tears in his eyes. Because he did one छोटा सा scene था एक. And for that, he had put in so much that he had tears in his eyes. And I went to Sid and I said this, यार Sid, still got tears. To have that kind of, I hope to God that I can maintain that kind of power in me to be able to give that much of me like you have.
Congratulations. This is Sushri from Mashable India. Congratulations. I think I speak on everyone's behalf. That's hell of a trailer. Siddarth, my question is to you and both Deepika. You know, Pathan, it actually set the tone for the entire year, 2023, with, you know, obviously the the 1,000 crores. And it really set the ball rolling. What are your expectations, you know, with this aerial extravaganza, really?
So, may I start?
Yes, please. This is your question.
So honestly, like I said, the kind of timing that we had in Pathan when we were coming out, even if it wasn't that timing, there is nobody, I think I can speak for all filmmakers in this country, nobody when he's making the film obviously expects it or wants it, but कभी कोई सोच नहीं सकता कि हम वो success attain करेंगे या वो figures attain करेंगे. Nobody can plan for it. You can dream, but there's no planning that can go into it and you can achieve it. So it's a lot of luck, it's a lot of love, a lot of effort obviously. We were all taken by surprise. Everyone. I don't think there's anybody in that team of Pathan that expected that. And we all hope कि थोड़ा प्यार मिले हमें और हम एक सॉफ्ट एंट्री वापस हिंदी फिल्मों की ला सकें into the hearts of the audience. एक सॉफ्ट एंट्री. And उन्होंने तो दिल ही खोल दिया अपना पूरा हमारे लिए. And that is just the love of the audience and we didn't expect it. And I think we take the opportunity to thank the audience for that. And now we're at the cusp of something very, very special again. And we're just hoping, not for the numbers, we're just hoping प्यार मिले, recognition मिले. हमने देश की पिक्चर बनाई है, देसी पिक्चर बनाई है एक, बहुत rooted पिक्चर है ये. Yes, बहुत stylized है, but actually बहुत देसी पिक्चर है ये, हिंदी पिक्चर है ये. And it speaks to the lowest common denominator. And everybody, from families to the youth to the masses to the elitists, there'll be something for everybody in this film, and we're just hoping for love. Numbers will follow.
Numbers will follow.
Yeah, I mean, like I said this earlier. I feel like nobody makes. I don't know. I just feel like I know people do, but when you make movies for the box office and when you work in reverse, you're just not being true to the process, and I think that always shows eventually. And in the work that we've done before, I know that has never been the intention. The intention is to tell a beautiful story that the audience is going to connect with, that's going to have a positive impact. And you're going to have a great time while making the movie because the process is as important as the result in itself. And I think what makes Fighter even more special is this is our tribute and our thank you to every single fighter out there who puts their life at risk every single day so that we are safe. And so this is our thank you to them.
वैसे तो वॉर एंड पठान भी सेम है, उसमें कार चेज बाइक चेज सब सेम था, वो स्पाई था वो सेम लगेगा आपको. बट the similarity ends at those planes. Like I said, ये हिंदी पिक्चर है और as we all know now by the trailer, it is inspired by a true incident that happened in 2019 with our armed forces. And that is an incident that obviously I'm sure has angered all of you all as much as it did to us. And it was a trigger for us to make a film and talk about the might and the stand that our country took and the might of the forces and what they did and retaliated with. It's somewhere loosely based on that, obviously. And I think if anyone has seen Top Gun knows that there was nothing to do with Top Gun. So the similarity ends there. And as far as the character goes of being a rebel or Shamsher Pathania being that, Shamsher Pathania is a character that I think is a very brave decision by Hrithik to do because it is something unlike he's ever done. He's never played a character like that who is so real. The cockiness is very real. It's not larger than life. Kabir or matter of fact Rajveer from Bang Bang are so different, are so cinematically larger than life. Patty is someone who could be sitting amongst us, and I'm sure there are a lot of cocky people, how they are, not with us, but I'm sure with their friends. Yeah. So he's like one of you guys. He's a common man, but yet obviously what he does is so larger than life. He sits in a machine that's worth 8,000 crores and that can fly at that speeds and risk his life every time he sits in that cockpit. That arrogance you will have if you did that, and that is what Patty has, and that is what I think any character, whether you are in an English film or in a Chinese film, you will have that cockiness or the arrogance because of the things that you ride on every day. You risk your life every day. When you take off, you don't know if you'll land. the mantra is within the forces when he went there is that the CO that is played by Anil sir, he's a commanding officer, tells his boys, takeoff is an option, landing is mandatory. You have to land back, come back alive. So imagine what lives they live here. How can Patty not have that chip on the shoulder? And that is something that is similar with any pilot worldwide. So that's the only common link I would say.
Hi, Hrithik. Hi, Siddarth Anand again. I can safely say that this is the kind of film everybody loves watching. Heroes like Hrithik, Roshan, and larger than life, a great canvas.
So I'd like to just correct that. In this film, which is what Sid was saying, it took time for me to be convinced about Patty, because Patty is not larger than life. The film is larger than life. I, up until then, was doing these characters which had this emotional arc which was larger than life. But I understood that what Sid is trying to achieve, he's breaking his own mold and constructing a hero, taking aspects of me as a person, finding them and putting them together and saying, hey, this is what I want from you as a human, from that human. I've extracted these bits and this is my character. He's not larger than life. He's not Kabir. He's not Pathan. He is just a guy. So.
Hello, I'm Krapya from Waterside, and my question is to Deepika. Can you recall any stunt in this film that it was a very fast-paced visual?
So obviously, as you know, that this film is in alliance with the Indian Air Force, and there are a lot of stunts the chopper has done. And bits of it, I think if you see the trailer again, you'll see some stunts of it. And we can't really disclose much about the maneuvers and stuff. So if this was Pathan or war, I think we would have spoken up about it. But this is, we'll ask you also one more question in 5 minutes.
I'll think and then ask.
That's that.
But it's actually interesting. I think the response is interesting because usually you would have an actor say or a director say this sequence, this. But the fact that we're actually bound by confidentiality in a way because it is so close to reality is, I think, what makes it really exciting.
Hrithik, my question is for you. In the movie Lakshya, you played the role of an army officer, and here in Fighter, you are playing the role of an IAF officer, right? So as an actor, how different was your approach to both of these characters, and which one did you enjoy playing more?
Well, thankfully, the uniform has some magic here. Every time it reminded me, there are 3 uniforms at home, not uniforms, all of them, but like Krish had a kid costume. When I wore that, I felt very strong. In Lakshya, when I used to wear the uniform, it gave me strength. And in Fighter, when I wore the uniform, in a second, you feel the responsibility, you feel the weight, you feel the strength. So uniform से जो ताकत जो मिलती है ना, that is very difficult to replicate. It is something that is surreal. It works, but it's true. You actually feel the power when you wear that uniform.
Thank you, sir. The specific moment is actually when you zip it up.
Yeah.
Wear it, and when you zip it up, that feeling is...
तो मैंने जब पहली बार देखी थी तो मैंने शिव को बोला, "You sure you want to take me?"
वो भी एक कहानी है. क्या होता है ना, the uniform is such, it's an overall.
So much.
And
The one piece.
I have to say it. कि एक your overall जो है इतना fitted है कि if you have 1 ounce of a curve, कहीं पर वो highlight हो जाता है. So you have to fit into it seamlessly and look like that. And Anil sir saw it and got a little overwhelmed seeing it.
मैं बोला, "अभी घर का खाना बंद करो." ये जो खाते हैं हम.
And he said मुझे 2 हफ्ते दे before I do the costume trial. And when he came 2 weeks later,
मैंने इसके 3 costume trial किए. फिर भी मेरा first, then I kept on, and I looked, I think, perfectly for the uniform. I think it was last year.
And it's a strange feeling, man. But it's a one piece. So you put your hands up, the waist comes here, your crotch comes here. How do I get the perfect fit here?
But still, you feel extremely that feeling of pride.
No, what do you really fit for it?
yeah, it will be really fit. I mean, hats off to all the warriors, air warriors.
Real team. You tell me.
Never worried about bro.
Hi everyone, Toshio here from News Now. My first question is for Anil, sir. So, for the past 2 years, we have been seeing you some diverse and difficult roles. First, you were in Arms Mafia, and then you were an irritated and arrogant bear. And now you are the next mentor. So, how did you prepare for these roles? And for
He went on every, here it was first the physicality and then I internalized it. There are certain roles which you first internalize and then go to and then you externalize. So it depends. For Animal, it was more internal than the external part of it because I was playing my age. But this was first the how do I look, the part, the walk, the way I speak, and then I did all the research I could do for the character. And speak with the officers, watching, I think every video or every piece of information I could have of all the officers and generals from all over the world. And watching them, the way they speak. Of course, I always, there's a history because I've also done an army officer in Pugar, which was a very exciting journey. But there's one film which I always I kept on watching, and I keep on watching since last almost over 50 years. And if you all get a chance, you must go on YouTube and just watch the film and the actor and George C. Scott who did Patton. The film name was Patton, and that film has always been my inspiration. I just love the film. It was the first film which Francis Ford Coppola wrote the screenplay and won the Oscar for that, and that was the turning point of his career in a way. And when I was doing my acting course, the first character improvisation I did was also based on Patton. Because there's a book also, so I read the book and I kept on seeing the film, and again I revisited Patton again. And because you see, this role is, you have to get first the physicality, the external things, and then go deep into it. So every film, every character has a different process. For a night manager, obviously I'm playing the worst man in the world. I've never met the worst man in the world. So how do I do it? What do I do? I can't observe anybody. Because there's nobody the worst man in the world. So you then, to a certain example, I mean, to be honest, the original itself was brilliant. He already did the role, he was brilliant in it, absolutely fantastic in it. Obviously I read all his interviews and saw all the interviews, and there was a reference to my work also. Then I read the book. And he was an arms dealer. So in India, you can't say, yeah, he was an arms dealer, so you go and watch it. Like mafia becomes easier, But so that was a tricky part. So then you use your imagination also. And you, in a way, fictionalize and see, and then of course you rehearse, and 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 then you write down, and then you find a pitch, and then you have the pitch, and then is it the right pitch? Then you go on the set, and you start speaking the way you rehearsed, and you sound very foolish. And then on the set again you do various takes, and then slowly steadily you find the correct suit. So that was a different journey. BBC was a different journey, and this is a completely different thing. So all three have been very different. So it's been very exciting, as Hrithik was saying, that for us it's it's just, for me it's de-stress. I said, when I'm stressed, I said, what do I do? I said, I'm going to act. Rehearse, listen, watch, all the interviews and people. So that de-stressed. So for me, I know the stress of stress or joy, acting calm research, which calm because your first character improvisation was about
And
My first character.
my first character improvisation in my acting class was इस शहर के सरदार लोग
William.
कौन क्या था कि ठकरार साहब में से 75 लोगों की हत्या की इनकी गिनती तो 75 से बहुत हो जाता है Nice.
So, you know, back in my cave,
There was yours.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the reason आप टॉपिक की बात इससे देसी फिल्म नहीं हो सकती. इसमें ऋतिक रोशन है, इसमें दीपिका पादुकोण है, इसमें अनिल कपूर है, उसमें ट्राई है. ये मतलब करेक्ट ना? इससे देसी फिल्म कर सकते. इससे देसी फिल्म आप देख नहीं सकते. देसी बट क्लासिक. That is
Mission.
fighter. Bro.
Absolutely perfect. You think I'm a perfectionist? Meet Siddarth. He will not stop, and that I think is where I completely align with him, because I know that he will not give up. You know, if I have something that I think we need to discuss or fix, and there's no time, I know he'll be standing beside me, and I will be standing beside him. So that partnership has been extremely fruitful, and I have seen him grow through those films, where I've noticed growth, of course. You know, I've seen his confidence grow as well, which is very important. But I've not seen the humility disappear. You know, he's just as humble, he's just as self-aware, and he's just as eager to find out about himself. Hey, am I right? Am I wrong? There is no ego there. And Kate Wick, without any fear, I know he'll be a soldier right till the end. What else do you have to fear as an actor? You can give yourself. You can just say, hey, I'm here, man. Guide, lead, I'll follow. And that's, I think, what the best parts of our partnership has. Thank you.
I can't say it better than him, but I think if I were to add just one thing to that, I think it's how he does all of it with so much ease. The humility is one aspect, but also when you watch him on set, you will never imagine that this is the same director who's made movies like War and Bang Bang and Pathaan and Fighter, because there is an inherent ease in the way you feel like you're taking a rom-com. It's like he's just
Ease and restlessness.
he's just
Like just,
he's
you know, my
singing,
tongue is almost hanging out.
he's talking about
Oh,
something
I'm
else.
like, I'm an action film director.
And food. If you ever spend any time with him, you'll wonder how he makes movies, because he's only either talking about food or eating. These are the only two things he's doing. But I think just the ease with which he does what he does is
Appearance, about how good looking they are.
the most
Look at them.
underconfident
Just look at them.
are being labeled.
इनको कुछ बोलने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती मेरे को. I think, like I've said in my other interviews, that do just look at these cameras now, just see how gorgeous they're looking.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't need to do anything. I mean, just roll it at 48 frames and make them walk and see how, and just put great music.
No, but the truth is that I think we both, if I can speak for both of us, I think you can trust Sid with stuff. You can trust him.
But also they work very hard, honestly. I mean, jokes apart, it's not easy to look like this. I think they put in a lot of effort, and the one word that I would actually use is sacrifice. And there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into looking like this, and they're relentless.